Oi, oi, guys, it's me, Cockney Buddha, and I just wanted to bring a message out there for you about panic attack and some high anxiety moments that you may have. And panic attacks, I always say, it's like having that anxiety on steroids. It's like bringing it down into a bloody tornado and then it all being focused into a very tight, very strong area in the mind to where you're starting to lose control. And there's things you can do, and I wanted to put these out. Now remember, not all these things work straight off the bat. Sometimes you've got to jump from one to the other, and like I do too. I'll grab one thing. If that's not singing to me in the way of bringing my levels down to where I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable, then I'll move on to the next one. I don't hang about. I'll be like, right, okay, or I'll get one done, and I'll move on to another. But this is for those moments that you want kind of a little bit on the spot things to where you can help out your mind right there and then, because panic attacks can come on real quick through triggers. Normally around a trigger, we normally see something, hear something, any of the senses, smell something, taste something. It could be any one of the senses, touch something even. That'll trigger. And sometimes that panic attack may not come straight away. It may take a little time, but the subconscious mind is working. And then all of a sudden, you're in a bit of a spiral, like real quick. And it's an overwhelming, strong feeling of a very, very, very strong anxiety. Like I said, it's like an anxiety pushing it down, putting it on steroids and bringing it down into a very small area. But just a few things I wanted to share with you. The number one thing, guys, breathe. Get into the breathing. Start slowing that breathing down. Bringing in those nice, long, deep, controlled breaths. And you can do this while you're walking. You can do this in your car. It's not meditation. It's just being aware and slowing that breath down. We don't want to go into meditating. Meditating is one of those things you want to do when you're off on your own. You want to be in a quiet space. This is right there on the moment that you can use these things. So breathing techniques, sometimes I'll do a double breath. Doesn't work for everybody. Like I say, don't take these as gospel. Try them, see if they work for you. It works for me. So the double breath is and then suspending it at the top and then just releasing it nice and slowly. The slower the better. And then it's just again, and keep doing a few rounds of it. Nice and slowly, and just letting that breath out. There's many different breathing techniques, but the double breath, and then just slowing that breath down too. Being aware of it. That's a big component of this, because if you can pull away from what is bothering you as far as in panic or anxiety, high anxiety, and pulling it into the breath, it means being fully aware of the breath, the in part, the out part, and the mechanisms that's going on within the body through the breath. So it's a matter of keeping in tune with the breath and keep pulling the mind into the breath and slowing it down, just becoming aware of it, slowing that breath down. The other thing, which I actually did when I was in a store once, I started going into a panic attack in a store, and I was right up the very back of the store. Started throwing some things at it, and it wasn't really catching, so I thought, get outside. So I got myself out the front of the store. And being outside can help bring those levels down just automatically. It's a matter of just getting yourself out there. If you can get around the trees or anything like that, even better, because I happen to have some trees around me, which was absolutely awesome, because then I went and stood under a tree and kind of become focused on the tree, which brings me to my next one, focus. Focusing on something. It can be anything. It could be, once you're out there, or even if you're in the store and you can't get out, start pulling a focus on something. One, the breath. Becoming aware of the breath is a good focus, but you don't want to be doing that too heavily Say like when you're in the car, right? So focusing on something, so say like colors. So looking and focusing on colors. Focusing on sounds even, certain sounds you may be hearing, just focus in, pull your attention into them. Remember, don't do this with heavy machinery, or if you've got to stay focused on something to where it's detrimental to your health or your work or anything like that, then yeah, you don't really want to be pulling your mind away from something that's, could be at risk of hurting yourself. But focusing on something. The one thing that I do when I focus is the color. One of them is the color. Shapes is another good one. Structures is another good one, like looking for shapes and structures, etc. So you can pull those levels down a little bit. Just get you back in on the straight a little bit. Doesn't mean it will completely go away, even though I've had that happen. But as long as you can bring those levels down to where you can start managing it, because panic attack and a very, very high spike in anxiety, which is pretty much what panic is, can really get this going in the wrong direction. You can't think straight. So these are all things that you want to just grip onto, simple things. The next thing, feel. That might sound a bit weird, and if you notice, I'm going through the senses here. So feeling something. I carry things in my pockets. I have a crystal that I carry in my pocket. I have a worry stone, which is something which is a really good thing to have. My daughter got me this. It's called a worry stone. It's got a little groove or a little dip in the stone that you can put your thumb into. Even if you just hold it in your hand or roll it around your fingers, it's about pulling your attention to something. If you go outside, grab yourself a little small stone, something with edges, something that could be rough or smooth. I mean, these are smooth, but something that you've got there that you can just hold in your pocket and you can put your mind to it and just put your hand on there and just start bringing your mind to that area, or even do what I do. Sometimes I'll take it out, my mala as well. I can use the beads of the mala. It's another way of pulling focus. The other thing is taste, right? And then now I have completely pulled myself out of panic with this one. I work with my guys with this. You can train yourself to do it, but when I work with my guys, and any of my guys that are hearing this, if you want to do this, hey, shout. But it's a thing that I train my guys, because once you can learn how to do this and become completely present with something when it comes to taste and also the feel, all your senses get brought into this one. I use an orange. And what pulled me out of my panic attack was a tangerine, mandarins, any of those nectarines, not nectarines, sorry, no pill. Tangerines, mandarins, oranges, something with some peel on there. Because what you can do is pull all your senses into it. And the first thing is you're just looking at the color, being focused on the color. And then when you're peeling it, smell it as you're peeling it. Listen to any sound that may be happening. Be focused on what you can see as you're peeling it. And what you do is you do the whole process of eating some segments of an orange or a tangerine or mandarin or any one of those. You're bringing all your senses completely into that, down to the taste. The other thing to do when it comes to taste is carry mints with you. Tic Tacs are awesome for this. If you can have Tic Tacs, I carry them in the car. And I've had moments in the car where I might be going a bit, whoa, hold up. Especially when I've been a passenger as well. And if you can grab one of those little mints, you only want little tiny small mints, stick one on your tongue, don't do anything with it. If you're a passenger, close your eyes and just sit there and focus. Focus on the mint, where you're feeling it, what's going on, what does it taste like, what does it put you in mind of? Don't think mint. Where can you feel it on the palate, right? It's using taste to redirect a focus. If you're driving, put the mint in your mouth and just hold it there and just be aware of the mint being there to where you can still focus on what you're doing, but you can breathe it. Just hold it on your tongue and breathe. And you'll feel that menthol, minty going up into your sinuses and becoming aware of that. It actually feels kind of cold when it goes up into your sinuses. So it's got like a freeze effect, sort of, if you've got a strong enough mint. I've had some pretty damn strong mints to make me sneeze. But try it. Try these things out, guys. It's a way of pulling the mind away from the panic, because when you go into those huge panic areas or those huge anxiety areas, they start controlling and overtaking your mind. And at that point, you can't think. And all you're doing then is just wanting it to go away and fight it. I want it to go away. I want it to go away. Don't think I want it to go away. Think, what can I do? Solution, solution, solution. What is it? What can I do? And then once you start getting yourself calmed down a little bit, what was the trigger? What was it that triggered me? What was my thinking happening? What was it that brought me to this point? Follow it. Because it could be an answer. Because once you start knowing where that piece come from, now you can start working with that situation. Another situation may come up to where that's stuck and you're like, It's just a way. All the different ways that you can use. And there's many, many of them. Many of them. But it's just using different ways that when you're there, you can get on them real quick and bring that anxiety down and your panic, bring the levels down to where you can start managing a little bit and then start focusing in it. And please, 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 get into seeing somebody. Get into therapy. It's a big one. It's a big one. If you're committed to wanting to work on your mind, and set the intent to go and get the help. Please. I can't stress enough how much that helps, even if it's to just go in and be heard. It's important to take care of your own mental health before these things happen, so that you have the tools going into these things. And if your everyday can bring on, mental health issues, which I believe everybody should go to therapy in my eyes. Everybody should be able to go to therapy, because I think everybody could really get some help in whatever way, shape or form. And I push my guys changing life. It's not all about this, 90% of it, right? But it's also about this, and now working with this to shift your life in where you want to go. So please, if you get help out of these, please go and subscribe. Please go and hit that like. Because if you've got to the end of this, then I must be making sense to you. Somewhere you're listening. So please go and hit the like and subscribe, because that gets the message out there to other people that can also get some help out of this. You may even slide this one under someone's nose by hitting that subscribe, and it getting sent under somebody's nose to where they may be in a situation right now. And this message may come along that they can use, and you have helped pull them out of that. So please go and hit that like and subscribe, because you're you're helping me, and you're helping many, many other people out there. The community's growing. So please, help me out. Show me some of that love. Stay that course. Namaste.